In the next 5 seconds, I'm going to make quite a lot of men on the internet angry because this is a review of an Audi A6 Estate and it's really, really dirty. So all you people that like clean cars, get in the comments and give me some hate. Now, the reason this particular Audi A6 is in such a state because for the past 3 months, it has been my family transport. I'm about to give it back and get a new car. And I'm a bit sad. It's become a member of my family over the past 3 months and 3,000 miles. I've taken it to France with my family. My kids love it. I love it perhaps more than any other modern car. So yes, tomorrow this is getting replaced with a Peugeot and I'm basically going to have to do the thing where I tell my kids that the family Labrador has gone to live on a farm. I'm going to miss it. This is a slightly different video in which I just tell you why this is the best car in the world right now, basically. Now, the reason I love this A6 Avant so much is because it's big, it's roomy, it's comfortable. Most importantly, on the second-hand market, it's really quite affordable. See, this is an A6 Sport, so not the S-Line, the one down, with fatter tyres, smaller wheels, and a better ride. This was originally just over £50,000 2 years ago. It's now got 16,000 miles on it, it's 2 years old. It's now just under 30 grand for so much car. And yeah, you've got smaller wheels, it's more comfortable, but you've still got loads of kit such as LED headlights. Sure, you don't have the fancy S-Line ones with the scrolling indicators, but really, who needs them? You've still got a very big, bold grille. People get out of your way when you drive this thing, and I don't think it's just because lots of undercover police use these. If you've watched my videos on the Motorpoint YouTube channel or other YouTube channels, you'll know I like a big estate. And I usually have things like Skoda Superbs because they offer you loads of room for not much money. I wanted to try an A6 to see if the premium Audiness really made a difference. And to be honest, in the cabin, it does. It's a really comfy car for long journeys. You've also got all the good infotainment tech, wireless CarPlay in there. This big screen, it's actually good. You've got climate controls that aren't physical, but you've got dedicated screens. They're always there for changing temperature and things like that. It's a bit of a fiddle to use on the move sometimes, so it's got haptic feedback and it's a bit laggy at times, but I've got used to it. I don't mind it. And although this isn't a top spec S-Line one, I've still got things like a 360-degree camera. I can almost say that. Self-parking systems. The only thing I don't have is a wireless charger anywhere. I've got some cubbies, that's full of my stuff. We don't look in there. You've got a full-size glove box, also full of stuff. It just feels very posh in here. And you've got a big old steering wheel as well. It feels like an old school German estate car from the good old days of German estate cars. I've got a digital dashboard. It just feels very nice and posh in here. It's got a real feel-good factor when you're climbing into it on a rubbish British November morning. All of you filthy car fundamentalists are going to hate this. We're going to have to pixelate this. No, look down there. I've got 2 young children. It's basically like having a colony of rats in your car, which is why it's filthy back here. But anyway, loads of space. You'd expect that because the Audi A6 Estate is 4.9 metres long. So I've got knee room, I've got foot room, I've got headroom, but it's not as much knee room as in a Skoda Superb, or I think the Mercedes E-Class Estate is a bit roomier in the back. We've also got a whopping great centre transmission tunnel because obviously there's things like the RS6 built on this platform. So your middle seat passenger doesn't have much legroom. Now, in this sport model, there's only a 12-volt socket. There's no USBs back here. Otherwise, it's leathery and nice, and it's easy to get to the ISOFIX points. And you've got a little centre armrest here with a little cubby under it, which is felt lined as well in there. The only other particular feature of this car is I have got half of Omaha Beach down here. Not joking. We went to Omaha Beach, and the children brought most of it back into the car. And I've got a lovely little bag to keep my hair in check. Let's check out the rest of it. Now, I'm sure you'll all be at pains to point out that there is a new A6 out, the A6 e-tron, but it's not actually out yet, so this is why we're filming this one. I think this generation of A6 looks very smart. It is a little bit hearsy, but you've got this chrome strip down there. This one is the 40 TDI model, so it's got 204 horsepower from a 2-litre diesel engine with 4-wheel drive. You can get it without 4-wheel drive if you want a bit more in the way of fuel economy. The boot, pretty big, 565 litres. I would say that's massive, but Mercedes E-Class Estate is about 50 litres more than this. So it's not class leading by any stretch of the imagination. It's got a clever little parcel shelf that gets out of your way automatically when you open the boot. Yeah, I went camping with a massive tent. I'll stick some pictures in, and this swallowed it all. It was brilliant. You've got levers as well for folding down the rear seats. You've got all the essentials for a camping trip to France, just to remind them who's, well, what's what, who's who. We're British and we've come to annoy you on the campsite with my children. It is really big, and I just really like it. The only downside, you've got no space under the boot floor for anything else. Now this one has got the £825 optional tow bar, which comes out like this, and you have to kind of flip it into, yes, full action, shall we say. That can tow 2 tons on a brake trailer. So it's a pretty good estate car for towing as well. But is it any good to drive? Let's go and find out. Right, driving the Audi A6 Avant has been my grown-up dream. It is so comfortable, it is so refined. It's actually really easy to drive, considering it's the same size as a cruise ship. I've got a 360 camera in this one, and the visibility out the back is actually pretty good. It's not an SUV either, which means it's very economical. I've been getting an average of 50 miles per gallon out of this 204 horsepower 2-litre diesel. Now, all the engines in the A6 at the moment are 4 cylinders. So you've got 2-litre petrol with 204 horsepower, 2-litre diesel with 204 horsepower, and then there's a more powerful petrol with 265 horsepower. This will do 0 to 62 in about 7.8 seconds, but actually, I think it feels a bit quicker than that. It's got mild hybrid technology, which is normally nonsense, but you can actually feel it working in this diesel. It helps you with a bit of torque off the line, and it's brisk. Having 4-wheel drive in this one as well has been very useful in the kind of wet, slippery weather we've had lately. Now, it's not a sports car, the normal A6. There's actually quite a lot of body roll. It's a bit boaty, but that does mean it rides really well. Around town, this just highlights how bad lots of modern cars have become, because this just smooths everything out. Look, doing 30 on a reasonably bumpy road, it's pretty quiet, it's not very bumpy, it is blissfully relaxing. Now, downsides, the automatic gearbox can occasionally be a bit hesitant when you're pulling away, but it's not too dim-witted. I've barely ever used the paddles to take control myself. And honestly, I've just really relished doing long drives in this. When you get the fuel economy, I've had it up to like 60 on a cruise as well. It is just bliss. Grown-up bliss, not exciting bliss, but if you want a comfortable, relaxing estate car, this is right up there. And it reminds us that we don't need big, unaerodynamic SUVs. A classic estate car can do everything you need for your family. Now, obviously, if you want to, there are fast versions of this. There's the S6 and obviously the RS6 as well, with more than 600 horsepower. I've not reviewed that for Motorpoint, but I've driven it a lot, and it's flipping great. 4-litre V8, makes great noises, but it's a bit showy. I don't like showy. I like my non-S-line model of the A6. It's the gentleman's choice. But yeah, that's about all I can say about this. It's also easy to turn off the lane keeping assist. It's one button there. It hasn't annoyed me, unlike most of the other new cars that I drive. But anyway, that sounds like a conclusion, so let's head back to the lay-by of justice with my very dirty Audi A6 and tell you what I've really thought about it after 3,000 miles. I think even the French people liked it, despite the fact that it's not a Dacia or a Renault. Right, time for a conclusion on the Audi A6 Avant. My Audi A6 Avant. Over 3,000 miles, this has been without a shadow of a doubt the most impressive normal car I've driven in the past couple of years, for the following reasons. Mostly the ride comfort. It irons out bumps on the road and potholes really well, and it hasn't got any fancy air suspension or adaptive dampers. It's just set up brilliantly. It is also very practical. It's also got a brilliant sound system, brilliant wireless CarPlay that always just works. I like the driving position, it's very comfortable, and it's very economical. I can't believe that a 200 horsepower diesel can do 50 mpg with 4-wheel drive as well. So it is brilliant. Has it convinced me that I don't need a Skoda Superb? I'm afraid it kind of has. I am getting old and I like the poshness of the interior of this. I would say don't buy one new because they're very expensive, but on the second-hand market, it is a cracking estate car and one of the best you can buy. Now, that was very grown-up, unlike the rest of this video, but if you have enjoyed it, please hit like, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the Motorpoint YouTube channel, and go down to the comments and tell me who would win in a fight between one Audi A6 sized Audi A6 and 500 Audi A6 sized A1s. I think it's meant to be ducks, isn't it? Ducks and sharks. I can't remember. Goodbye.